right, welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in to Monday evening's edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We had a pretty nice weekend weather-wise. We had a nice one today. Tomorrow, a little up and down. We'll get to the forecast details, of course, in this video coming up in just a second. I like to say at this time of the year, we can get just about anything. We can have highs in the 80s at this time of the year. It's not unheard of. We can also have snow at this time of the year. That's not unheard of either. Kind of typical of the transitional seasons. April is kind of the mirror of October. You can get just about anything in the middle of October. Well, 1 year ago today, we had a really cold day. The high temperature was just 41 degrees. We didn't have any snow, but it was a cold day. A high just 41 a year ago today. Now contrast that with today. It was 30 degrees warmer. We did 71 this afternoon at the Youngstown Ward Airport, 74 in Akron, 75 in Cleveland, New Philly at 75, Pittsburgh at 72, and there's decent odds that this is the last time in 2019 that we'll have a high temperature with a 7 at the front of it. I wouldn't guarantee it just yet, but I think the odds are pretty good that this will be the last time we see any 70s. You know, climatologically speaking, of course, it gets harder to pull off a 70-degree day as we get deeper into late October and into November. It happens. But with the pattern pretty chilly, it looks like, into early November compared to the average, I'd say our odds are maybe a little bit higher than average that we've seen our last 70-degree temperature. We'll get to the longer range at the end of the video. Showers off to our west this evening. This is all part of a pretty stout area of low pressure up across the upper Midwest this evening. It's up here. That thing is really wound up, and it's driving a cold front to the east. Now, the air behind this front is not particularly harsh or Arctic in origin, but it will be a noticeable change. And yeah, with that low pressure system as wound up as it is, there's lots of isobars around that low. The pressure gradient's tight, no surprise. Wind advisories and even high wind warnings are out for parts of the upper Midwest this evening. Any showers overnight, fairly disorganized in nature. There'll probably be some around, but I think the most consistent, organized area of rain is going to hold off until tomorrow morning. This is going to make for a wet morning commute across our entire area, so just plan on a soggy one tomorrow morning, but it's not an all-day rain tomorrow. In fact, I think the sun's going to try to come out in the afternoon. The rain will push away from west to east by around lunchtime, 11 to noon. Maybe it hangs on until 1 o'clock or so out towards I-79 in Mercer County and Lawrence County. But then in the afternoon, yeah, I think the sun's going to break out, a gusty breeze, and yes, it is going to be cooler than today, but it's not going to be a cold day. Temperature is even a tick or two warmer than average tomorrow afternoon. So here's what I've done with the hourly rain chances. Don't forget, you can check these out anytime on the Storm Tracker 21 app by tapping on hourly down at the bottom of the screen. Highest chances for a few hours between, say, 7 and 11, and then rapidly falling rain chances as we get into the afternoon as far as how much rain to expect. Generally speaking, we have a pretty decent model agreement here of a half an inch to maybe up to 3/4 of an inch. These numbers are a little higher than the model runs from earlier today, but I think a half to maybe 3/4 should just about cover everyone. So pretty good drink of water for a few hours tomorrow morning. Again, we see the sun tomorrow afternoon. Clouds may rotate back in for a time underneath the upper low tomorrow evening. But then I think it turns out to be a beautiful day coming up on Wednesday. There'll be a gusty breeze on Wednesday, bright and sunny day, and temperatures a little above average. Nice day overall, aside from the breeze, which I think will be noticeable as we get into the afternoon. Kind of a weak, sluggish front heading our way at the end of the week, and maybe a few more clouds Thursday. Will probably dry this day, and then maybe some showers and cooler weather coming our way on Friday. We've got our work cut out for us when it comes to the weekend forecast, notably on Sunday. I think Saturday is almost guaranteed at this point to be a nice day with a good deal of sun. We'll have high pressure parked almost right overhead. I'm going to show you a model comparison here between the European model and the GFS. These are the two models that, you know, get the most press when you see TV meteorologists talking about computer model differences. It's always the Euro versus the GFS, but any meteorologist worth their salt looks a lot more than just those two models. But for simplicity's sake, I will compare the two of those this evening, but just know it's certainly not the only two things I'm looking at. So dry day Saturday. Now this is the European model for Sunday. If this were to be exactly right, Sunday's a breezy, almost a washout, just a rainy day advertised by the European model. It's been fairly consistent over the last handful of runs with that idea. Now compare that to the GFS, which is bone dry, high pressure just to our east, and not a drop of rain within hundreds of miles. You know, that's a pretty stark contrast. Thankfully, this is not winter, or we'd be pulling our hair out talking about potential for heavy, impactful snow or a sunny day. And we'd be getting lots of questions on social media. Thankfully, this is not snow, but it is one of those things where right now, it's either rain or sunny. There's no halfway in between. There's no partly sunny with a chance of a shower. It's either going to rain all day or just be sunny if you were to take the two major models there, the GFS and Euro, literally. So stay tuned for the forecast updates this week. Don't forget the Youngstown Marathon's coming up on Sunday. Andrew and I will be participating in that, and we are not hoping for rain, that is for sure. A dry day, kind of like we had for the Peace Race, kind of like we had this past weekend. That would be ideal. All right, it's Monday evening, so we have a fresh batch of long-range European modeling here, temperature anomalies to show you. And the overall theme here for the next 2 weeks is there's going to be a fair amount of chilly air on the playing field. It looks like through the first week of November, not only here locally, but out into the middle of the country and into the Rocky Mountain states as well. The European would then suggest by the middle of November that warm anomalies may start getting a little more of a foothold into the pattern. And then, just for fun, we'll take a look at the real long range here. And, this is a 46-day model, so this takes us through Thanksgiving and into the end of November. And again, taken literally, the end of November, second half of November, you don't see a lot of cold on that weather map. But, boy, take that with a big grain of salt. Higher confidence that the next 2 weeks, especially starting late next week and taking us through Halloween and taking us into the first week of November, pretty high confidence that that period will be a chilly one compared to the average for late October and early November. Winter forecast coming up on Thursday, November the 7th. Long version online, short version on TV. So I will be taking my stab at the winter outlook at that time. So look forward to that. I'll be working hard this evening on that winter forecast. So again, that's coming up in just a couple of weeks, believe it or not. Thanks for checking out the Monday Evening Weather for Weather Geeks video, and I'll see you back here on Tuesday.